Welcome again in my YouTube channel, focuses on little analysis, a special play, novel, and poems. I ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so as to get different information about little analysis. My name is Teacher Kaligo or Teacher Kadonji, the man of literature and the young African writers from Shinyanga, Tanzania. Dear listeners, students, Form 5 and Form 6, and English teachers who teaches language too, listen the novel analysis called The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born by Ayi Kwei Armah. From Ghana, this novel published in the year of 1968 after independence of Ghana. Ayi Kwei Armah was born in the year of 1939 during the colonial period in Ghana. He wrote several books that focused on criticism of colonialism and the Ghana government, including The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. Ayi Kwei Armah wrote this novel to educate and criticize Ghana government and other countries in Africa against corruption, selfishness, irresponsibility of leaders, misuse of public funds. Ayi Kwei Armah used the main characters as the narrator of this novel called a man, anonymous person. He didn't name the real name. A man means any person can tell the story about the nation. Ayi Kwei Armah used the ironic title, The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. This Armah, the blame is to leaders. Hence, good leaders have not yet come or been elected. Therefore, itself, beautiful is wrongly misspelled to symbolize evils in the society. Every time those who were thought to be the beautiful ones, they then indulge in corruption and blackmail. They earn themselves, suffer poverty as wearing of rags, being illiterate, and hard to get sufficient social service. According to means, it does not portray direct meaning, rather shows that in our society, beautiful ones are being luxury things, style of life, big salaries, high respect, and good houses. Hence, the masses are left to born every day. But they are being destroyed by their society, engaging themselves in corruption. The word author has used the title to summarize what are in the novel. Ayi Kwei Armah used driver character, who is the president of the country. Dear listener, we get a symbolism. The word driver stands to represent the president, also another symbol. Symbolism, bus, symbolizes nation. Another symbol, conductor, stands to represent a prime minister of a country. Also, conductor shown in this novel as a character who uses abusive language to the passenger. Also, passengers stand as a symbol of citizens who are humiliated, exploited by conductor. Ayi Kwei Armah used a man to reveal the weakness of the leaders to their citizens. He traveled several and seen the weakness of leaders who used as a symbol. Example, conductor and driver. All of this uses about abusive language to their citizens. Listen, the statement for a conductor. The bus conductor inside the man. You are blood, fucking son of a bitch. Through this statement, we get a figure of speech called vulgarism. Remember to take note, my dear. Also, we get a figure of speech, Elon or Elon, through a title of the novel, The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. A man working on the railway station, he uses bus to travel from his home to his office. Also, a man tells us the weakness of leaders called Kumsum, who is a corrupt leader, irresponsible leader, and also he uses public funds to enjoy with his wife Estella. The journey is over, and the man tells her wife, "These were the socialists of Africa, fat, perfume, soft with the ancestral softness of his wife, and I can smell her still. Her hand was wet with the staff perfume. Oil is not placed at all. With this message from the husband, as she replied, life has treated her well. Page 42. Mocking, get down, he arrives at home and explained her wife his meeting with Kumsum. I shook hands with Chief, who had sold their people and able ancestry, happy with fruit of the trade. Page 131. He also tells the visit by Kumsum on Sunday. The man also tells her about how he has declined the offer. Also expresses how oil and her mother are no longer listening to him, rather His Excellency Joseph, visiting the teacher, where he calls the conversation with the teacher in chapter 5, 6, and 7. The birds that held excrement but feed on the maggot, page 45. To escape further inside, the man fixed on the from Amakwa, but rather than being held, placed his wife sarcastically referred to him as a Chichidodo. Conversation which provide historical insight into the disappointment with independence. The man, Kumsum, minister, member of the Presidential Commission, heel of Socialist Labor. He also explained how Kumsum has fooled them, claiming that he would buy then a fishing boat. So they are using boat to despise and hit man on the head, complaining man. He also explained how oil tries Kumsum's children, as life was like a lot of roads, long roads, short road, widen and narrow, steep, and to use philosophical ideas to pursue the man to take corruption so that their children would look like level, all sorts of road. The end of the novel and the escape of the Kumsum. Along with the Kumsum, he passes through the latrine, but it is also power. The novel ends with the man returning home from the Heba. The camp has not the humiliation process of his escape through the lavatory and Heba underscore the vanity of his beautiful one. Kumsum escaped from the country with active collaboration of the man. Cases himself in the seawater. Who is this man who wants to teach us how to live in a corrupt world? DL changed anything fundamental in the life of the nation. Soldier and the police still extort, collar, euphemism for bribe for travel. The man is going back to his home. The end of silence once and his dull waking environment. Ayi Kwei Armah used different settings in his novel. The main setting is Ghana. Subsetting are like a man's home, Kumsum homes, urban setting, nightclub, railway station. Also, he uses different styles in his novel. The use of narration, a man narrated this story about leaders. The use of omission, point of view, example, man is the narrator of this novel. The use of dialogue, monologue among characters, example, man and teacher. Ayi Kwei Armah used straightforward plot to show an incident in his novel with few flashbacks. Ayi Kwei Armah showed different conflict in his novel. Number one, family conflict, a man's wife because of poverty. She wants to live luxury life. Political conflict between government and the citizen. Also, there is a conflict between social conflict between leaders and citizens against misuse of public funds. Also, economic conflicts among citizens. They live in poor condition, like a man life. Ayi Kwei Armah shown the role and position of women in a society. Women portrayed as a bad advice example. Kumsum wife, Estella, tell her husband to draw money for luxury. Women portrayed as a dynamic example. Man, wife, wants good life. Dear listener, this novel is still relevant today because the issue of corruption, it is the spirit of leaders still practiced in our society. We have patriotic person like a man who struggle against corruption. Dear listeners, I have reached the end of this novel analysis. The Beautiful One and Narrated Boy by Ayi Kwei Armah. I remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Teacher Kaligo or Teacher Kadonji, the man of literature and the young African writer. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening.